Hey guys, it's Abby here at High Five Practice. How's everybody doing today? I'm excited to break down E.A.T. because you guys are probably curious of what that means when it comes to Let's Eat with Abby. No, I'm not bringing you lunch, but maybe I will eventually. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this new segment to you guys where we go eat together every Wednesday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. Just so you guys are aware, we actually stands for something. And you might have heard this already from us, but E.A.T. It's a little different than food. It's actually educate, automate, and target. And you're going to be hearing us say this a lot lately. It's our formula to generate loyal patients for life. But all means, I know you guys are on your lunch hour, so you can physically eat with me, bring some food while I bring up topics. And this is just gonna be a weekly thing. I'm gonna make sure I have partners we'll bring to the table, we'll talk to them. We're gonna have our own team members because our team is amazing, full of experts, marketing experts, has worked in dental for a long time. So we're gonna have them talk to you from week to week. Or it might be me just breaking down some different knowledge that a lot of people are bringing to the table as far as questions and concerns that we commonly get to hear from practices or the industry as a whole. And then I also want to bring on some of our clients from time to time. I'm going to have them and talk about their problems that they've seen and maybe how we helped them or what has helped them in the future and right now to really make sure everything is working correctly. So yeah, I'm just really excited to get this rolling and for you guys to always have this. I like to hear your feedback too. If there's certain topics that you guys want us to talk about, or if you want to know more about, whether we do or not, I can have someone that's an expert in that in your question, bring them on, and we can make sure to talk about those topics. So we'll have some special guests, and yeah, this is going to be fun, guys. A nice little lunch, a nice time to chat and get to hang out and get to be connected with all of you out there. So, but yeah, today I really want to break down, if I'm going to be talking about eat a lot, E.A.T, then I really want to make sure that you guys understand what I'm talking about and what this actually means for you as a practice or anybody else in the dental industry. So let's dive in, and I want to talk about how we can help grow, or how you can grow just by instilling these things into your practice on your own. The power, the name of the game is patient communications. That's always what people are talking about, is how can I make my practice grow? How can I make sure I get new patients? How can I hit my goals? How can I increase treatment? All of this comes to patient communications. It's commonly that people always want to get ads and they want to get new things out there, which is great. Our approach is a little different, and we've seen a lot of success with this type of marketing, and that's focusing on your internal patient base. It's not always focusing on new, it's nurturing your current patients so they don't walk out the back door. If you focus on them and if you take care of them and have an undeniable experience with you, they're not going to want to leave. And I promise you, patients don't want to leave your practice. They don't want to have to start over. They don't want to have to look for a new practice. They want to stay right with you. So make it easy for them and make them realize why you're that person that they should always go to when it comes to dental care, because they trust you and they don't have to put more work into it because they're busy. They don't want to have to research, try it again, make sure if they like you or not. They don't want to have to go through all that. So make it easy on them and make it more valuable for your practice, because at the end of the day, if you have patients that you love, that you get to see every day, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to enjoy spending time with patients that they actually like, that actually pay bills on time, that actually come up to their appointments, aren't always canceling? You can have that control as long as you nurture your patients and you educate them and you talk to them about their options, whether that's in the office or it's through communications, or it's online, or it's through video. There's so many avenues now that you can actually communicate and drive this information home to your patients to be there more than ever. So I'm going to break that down for you guys. The first thing, educate. So you might ask, what type of messages do I send? What are some kind of examples? How do I send it? When do I send it? So educate is very, very important. And no matter the software that you use, so you might use a patient communication software, whether that's RevenueWell, Weave, NextHealth, Lighthouse, Solution Reach, what have you, Dentrix Hub, any of those that you want to be sending out and communicating to your patients. So it really depends on the software that you use, the different types of communications you can send out. But a lot of these softwares already have templates teed up for you to use. So we always recommend you have to have personalized photography and make sure that when they're getting those messages that you stand out. So, but if you take at least, the hardest part is just getting started. What do I write? What do I put? And what do I send? What is going to be worth the value of my time? And educational is very, very key in that. There are barriers that every single patient has, and we want to make sure to address those with educational emails. So when we say educate, we mean these are emails that go out to all your patients, whether they're overdue, whether they just came in, whether they are due for treatment, what have you. All your patients have the same concerns that you need to be addressing and communicating, because you are the authority as their doctor, and you need to be the person making sure that they understand all of their options. And you do that with educational emails by sending it to all of your patients. So what types of messages do you send? Again, I talked about the 5 barriers. So there's fear. I'm terrified of the noise when I go into the practice. I don't like the smell of a dental practice. I had a bad experience. All of those fall under the umbrella of fear. And we all know that that number can be pretty high because a lot of people are intimidated by dentistry. But that's an opportunity for us to educate them on, right? The second ones, there's fear, there's financial. How much is it going to cost me? I can't afford that. How can I afford it? Why are you so expensive? I thought my insurance covered that and now it doesn't. So we want to make sure we're addressing all of these main pain points. So there's fear, financial, authority. Can I trust you as a doctor to do this treatment? I want dental implants, but should I go to a specialist? Should I go to you? Why? How can I trust you and why? Brag about yourself and build that authority. And we'll talk about that in a second. The fourth one, so again, fear, financial, authority, uncertainty. I'm nodding along right now, doc, but I have no idea what you're saying, is what some of these patients are thinking, right? They're sitting there and they're thinking, oh, wow, that sounds great, but they're saying that, but what they're actually thinking is, this doctor is talking way over my head. I don't know what they mean. They're saying a crown. I don't know what that is. They're saying a bridge. I don't know what that is. So they're just nodding along and thinking about the next thing. Therefore, when you go to ask them to accept treatment, they're unsure. They have no idea, and they're just trying to get on to the next step because they feel uncomfortable, right? So fear, financial, authority, uncertainty, and then time. How long is this going to take me? How long do I have to take off of work, or how much time do I have to take off of work in order to move forward with this? When can I have my awesome smile? When can I see the results? Time always is a concern. Right there, you guys, if you look at those 5 barriers, if you're just educating your patients on those topics, I promise you it's gonna make your patients love you more. They're gonna appreciate that you're not hiding from those questions or only talking to them about it while they're in the chair. They're gonna love knowing and feeling like they have more control over their dental experience because you're telling them exactly what they have concerns about, and they don't feel stupid asking those questions to you. A big thing we always say here at High Five Practice is we know how to speak to patients because we are the patients. I've been there. I totally understand when that comes. Even before I was in dental, it's just sitting in that chair and then talking and being like, is that silly of me to ask that question? Should I say this? Should I know this about it? Take that barrier out of there. Just educate them, inform them on those type of topics, and they will love you for it because they won't feel stupid. They'll feel more control, and you will see better results because of it. And you're eliminating that barrier as a whole. So, okay, sure, we want to address barriers. We're educating all patients in our entire patient base. Now, the next step to think about when you think of how often or when is what is your actual goal? And I'll be asking that over and over. What is your goal? What are you trying to send an email? Maybe you're in the front and the doc says he needs an email to go out or she needs an email to go out, and you're checking it off your list because you're busy, right? Which absolutely, I don't blame you. But if you actually have a goal and a reason of why you're sending out this message, I got a lot of calls about PPO and charge, and PPE charge, and I want to make sure that I can alleviate these calls and send out a message and educate our patients on why we're having this extra $15 charge for PPE. Perfect. The goal is to eliminate calls, and that's why you're going to send that out, and also help decrease patients from canceling because they're upset about a random charge, right? That could be something. Maybe it's, I want to increase visits for the doctor. My hygiene schedule is booked out. We had COVID, everyone's made sure to rebook their appointment, and now I'm full until July, but doctor schedule is looking sparse. Well, guess what? Doctor's schedule is what is going to bring in that high value treatment in order for you guys to hit your production and collection goals. So if you want to educate them on helping with the doctor's schedule, let's talk about treatment. Let's talk about the doctor's authority. What are the topics that are going to correlate to make sure those results come in? So that's what a different type of email is. You've got to understand what your actual goal is. Because if you're just sending out newsletters to send out a newsletter and there's no actual purpose behind it, I beg you to rethink. I want you to take a step back and make sure that when I send this message out, there's reasoning behind it. Because otherwise you're going to get defeated. You're going to get patients that call in and they're going to complain. Why are you blowing me up? What does this have to do? And you can still be personal and make sure that things are happening or educating your patients without over inundating them just because you want to send something out and you're told that you have to send it out. Make it effective. Make it have purpose behind it. So when you think of your goals, and let's say, and I can, let me share this with you. Pull this up for you guys. Cool. So I'm going to pull up how frequent we like to send out messages. So when you look at, this is actually on our website, highfivepractice.com, and then there's what we do in patient communications, and this page will lead you to it. But when we talk about educational emails, and we talk about how frequent we want to be sending them out, again, it comes back to your goals. So if you know that you have a low hygiene time of year, then why wouldn't you go ahead and send out your, and I'm sorry, I'll actually show you this. I want to show you how frequent we think you should be sending out educational emails. There we go. So we like to always have an annual plan of what the attack is. And every other month is what we recommend to be sending out to patients. If you want to do it more frequently, that's awesome. We also do targeted messages, so we're hitting different pain points. So we do it every other month. This is how often, though, you should be sending out messages. And notice how when we do this, it's a doctor schedule, hygiene schedule, doctor. A lot of automations cover hygiene as far as recall reactivation. So you'll kind of see that there's different opportunities there as far as the doctor schedule. That's usually what we want to fill more of. So for educational emails, if you're sending out, let's say we want to highlight cosmetic services. So we'll send it out May and June to help increase case acceptance for those bigger treatments, right? You're letting them know that they can achieve a beautiful smile that they want to achieve. Or maybe you want to build authority with the doctor. You want to meet the doctor. So you do it another month. If you want to help hygiene, you'll educate them on their oral health, why it's important. Bring practice awareness to practices. Let them know that you have financial options and an office savings plan. If you offer different opportunities for them to combat those fears, you can address that head on. So we like to say every other month at least is going to always help bring that education to the patients. And once you get in that rhythm, you could schedule out the whole year and just have it scheduled out in your software, or know that you're going to be sending it out. And that definitely helps keep nurturing those patients to stay top of mind. So when we talk about educational, we're talking about hitting on barriers, making sure you're addressing them on the front end and not being reactive, but being proactive. We want to send it through your patient communication software. You can actually draft it up in all of your softwares, and then you can send it out. You're sending it to all patients, so you don't have to worry about filters and targeting. You just send them everything, and that's a simple email. And then, of course, you need software, like I said, Revenue Well, Lighthouse, Solution Reach, Next Health. And some people use Weave. That works too, as long as you're just sending out those random emails. But yeah, that is what I recommend as far as educate. Then we have automate. So we can jump into, and I'm making sure that you guys aren't saying anything. Oh, hi, Genevieve. Well, hello. Sorry, I haven't been looking at the comments. Nice to have you. Woo. And if you guys have any questions too, feel free to ask them in here. I am happy to talk through any of the questions that you might have, because I know I'm covering a lot. So I want to make sure I value your guys' time. Or if you tell me what you're eating, that would be nice. I'm going to have Jimmy John's right after this. So I'm excited for that. Okay, we went over educate. Now I want to talk about automate. So when we talked about having a plan as far as the annual year, that always helps. Go based on your goals and educate your patients on your main concerns, right? The main barriers. Now, automate is your opportunity to make sure you're not physically having to do all that work. A lot of times this falls on the office manager. It falls on the front to be sending out these types of emails. I don't know how you guys do it effectively. It is incredible, the amount of work that you guys put in, whether that's, you're claiming insurance and you're booking appointments and you're addressing patient concerns and handling the phone calls and helping with treatment, except I literally don't know how you do it. We have a whole team that just focuses on marketing to make sure that it's effective, right? To make sure that there is strategy behind it. And so when I talk about automate, I want you guys to take advantage of that, because that takes a lot off of your plate. It's a way to be more effective and efficient with your time. So you're not physically sending them out. Let's say treatment plan follow-up. If your software allows you to send out follow-up and you don't have to physically be the person doing that, that takes so much weight and time off of your front team. And even like a welcome email is so beneficial. Appointment reminders are usually the common thing that are used. We do audits and softwares, and we'll go into our clients or potential clients, and we'll look at what they have to offer. We'll say, well, what do you have turned on? Majority of the time, it's a happy birthday and recall, and that's it, and appointment reminders. They don't have a welcome email. They don't have treatment plan follow-ups turned on. There's no end of year insurance. There's just the pressure of doing that or thinking that you're going to do that is a lot, and especially when there's systems that automate that for you. But not only that, but it's making sure that you're saying what you want and it's consistent. Thinking of the same message over and over, it gets redundant. You can absolutely lean on your retention software and be sending those out automatically just by getting them triggered. And then there's the common concern of, well, I turned it on and I got a lot of phone calls and everybody was mad, right? Everyone was upset. And so I immediately went there and I turned it off. It was supposed to save me time, but it took more time to answer calls and patient concerns. That is a huge opportunity to not see that as a default of I need to turn it off, but it's an opportunity to say, I'm going to clean up my patient base. I'm going to make sure that these automations do work and I don't have to manually send them out by just going in and updating my records. When you do talk to patients, they called. That's half the battle. They might not have had an appointment, been in for 2 years and had an appointment. This is an opportunity for you to make sure what is the communications that they want to be getting. So we always train our clients to have the front always say, hey, I'm so sorry. And I hate that, this is a bad experience for you. I want to make sure it's always an unmatched experience. So how do you want me to communicate with you and about what? Because I don't want to turn off all your notifications, because that includes your appointment reminders. That includes when you're due for treatment, when you're due for hygiene. And I want to keep you on track so you have the best oral health that we can possibly provide you with. Well, from there, you can check and see you can cater to their needs. You can see, oh gosh, I don't want my appointment reminders to be turned off. I just don't want this type of email. Absolutely, let me customize that for you. If you're able to customize in your software, that is a huge opportunity for your patient to have the best experience possible with your practice, and for your team. Your team is not having all the work. They turn on and then it can be running while your patients are getting the type of communications that they want to be communicated with. So don't turn them off and get scared. Phone calls are opportunities. They are not a bad thing. People die for phone call. I would love to get multiple phone calls right now and talk to a bunch of people. It's fun. It's an opportunity to find out more things about the practice and to me making sure that they're taken care of and they're having the best experience possible. So don't turn those off. A lot of systems, we like to say, have like Next Health and Revenue Well are always our favorites because they do more automations to keep everything running and making sure people are being nurtured. So there's appointment reminders, welcome to the practice, review and survey follow-up. We always recommend a third party like Swell because they do it really well. But by just turning on the software, something is better than nothing. So don't neglect it at all. Treatment plan follow-up, you need to educate them and take those automations and make sure that you're following up with patients about why it's important for them to move forward with treatment. And again, that's an opportunity to touch on different pain points or barriers. So talk about financial options, talk about the authority of the doctor within treatment plan follow-up. You can also do post-op instructions. You can do recall reactivation, happy birthday, end of year insurance. Turning those on and letting those run are going to make you sane, for one. It's going to help allow you to focus on other things in the practice that you can focus on without having to have that concern of, are the patients getting communicated with? Are they being told when they're due for an appointment? And do they understand why it's important for them to move forward? I can actually show you some examples on that. So let me pull up my screen again. Let me show you some these are different automations. So again, with the welcome, you guys, you have to have professional photography, whatever you do. Even if you go outside with or inside, whatever works, and if you take photos with your phone, it's better than nothing. If you in the competition, let's say you have a practice across the street or even in the same building as you, and you both are using the same softwares as far as communicating to your patients, they're gonna look the same other than maybe a logo difference, but otherwise they're not actually gonna show, they're not gonna realize it's from you. You're the practice they want to go to. So you never want to confuse the patients and really stand out and let them remember, oh, that's my dentist. That's who I go to. Plus it allows them to make it easy for them to refer to their friends and family by just forwarding emails on. But these are different examples. So like I said, you can have a welcome email. It's one of my favorite emails to send out because nothing is better than they just called and booked an appointment and now they're getting welcome to the practice. You're going to help with no-shows. And that's going to help people start off the experience just unmatched. You can see here in this example that we have a video. Videos are also great too. It gives you that personal touch. Photography is going to be something is better than nothing if you want to start somewhere. That's always going to be great too. A lot of times people are going to have online forms now, which is awesome. So you can have a big button that says, hey, go ahead and fill this out. Fill out your forms online. Make sure to highlight that, make it easy for the patient so they can actually have those filled out before they come to the practice. That's less wait time. You guys are fully prepared and everybody has a better experience that way. But again, it's just making it easy. Also, if you have a text message reminder, you can let them know if you're a new patient, hey, let's get these forms filled out so we can help with your wait time. Patients love hearing that. They love knowing what you are doing to help make their experience better and brag about it. Don't just implement it and not talk about it. Online forms is a perfect example. A lot of people have it, it's on their website, but they're not really telling their patients too much about it. They're not making it easier. Put it in your text messages, put it in your emails, make it easy for them to actually send out those messages and those links so they actually see the value of, oh my gosh, they're doing this for me. They're helping make me a better experience and I can just fill these out right online instead of filling out all this paperwork, and it looks a lot more intimidating when it's all printed out. If it's digital, it's just such a seamless experience. That's just one example. There's also treatment plan follow-ups. Like I said, we can address different concerns, but this just depending on, we like to hit those 5 barriers. So we like to talk about financial options in one attempt. Another attempt, we'll talk about the value of moving forward with treatment and showing the actual treatment that's been proposed. A lot of times, if you just send them something pretty standard, right? Like you send them a treatment plan, but you're explaining it, or there's not a picture, it's not personalized. it feels like a bill. And nobody wants to get a bill. That's not fun, right? You want to make sure that the patient, even when it comes to proposed treatment, that they're excited about it. They understand there's value there. So that's why we take treatment plan follow-ups that are automated, and we actually turn in each attempt to address different concerns. So like I said, my first one is going to be talk about this treatment's proposed. This is important for you to move forward. If you have questions, call the doctor. And then you might talk about sedation options. Hey, there's a common fear with dentistry, but guess what? We're going to take care of you. We're going to make sure you're comfortable. We're going to make sure that we've invested in technology. We have sedation. We have aromatherapy here, and we're just making sure that you're comfortable. Oh, wow, I didn't realize they had all this. That already makes me feel better, the fact that they're talking about it, the fact that they're communicating that with me. There's also financial options is your big concern. Addressing that, letting them know they have more options than just their insurance, and making sure they know all their options gives them control. So put that in your treatment plan follow-ups. And then, of course, you can talk about reviews. You can show reviews to help if you're pushing for implants or you're pushing for CEREC crowns or what have you. You can always make sure that those are in there with the reviews, getting patients to actually talk about that and highlight those within your email to make people think, oh, wow, they know what they're doing. They're building authority with me. Okay. Now I want to talk about targeted, which is fun. This is my favorite, targeted, if you can't tell. Targeted are we always call them the money makers. they're your opportunity and to really be able to educate patients on another level. So when it comes to automations, first off, when it comes to automations, what's nice about that is it's specific to their milestones. It's specific to the patient on their own journey, right? Everybody has their own path with your practice. Targeted messages are a lot the same. You're targeting patients specific to their needs. And also it's specific to what your goal is. So like we talked about with educational, you want to focus on what your goal is. And this is really important to do when it comes to targeted messages. Targeted, you want to focus on what you want to achieve. And again, what the purpose is with this email. So every software is different when it comes to how you communicate to your patients. Some have more capabilities than others. So it's something that first you want to figure out before you put a plan together to figure out what messages you're going to be sending out. Some target codes, and some only go after like recall reactivation. Again, something is better than nothing, or like end of year insurance benefits. Sometimes it's just birthday, or it's by gender, it's by age range. But we like to take advantage of targeted messages when it comes to our goals of increasing proposed treatment. A lot of times we'll get into a practice, we'll see what they have going on. They're throwing all these monies or all the money at ads. They're trying to figure out how to get patients in their practice. They're saying, I need new in order to make my production and collections goals. We go in and we find that there's so much opportunity on proposed treatment, anywhere from 70,000 to $1 million in production. That there's opportunity there. And it's simply proposed and then forgotten, or it's proposed and then banking on they're going to come back in. We're going to talk about it when they're back in the chair. We need to get them back in. There's phone calls made, and there's just not a lot of traction. Well, it's because you want to make sure you're educating them specifically on the treatment that you propose that you want them to move forward with, right? So we like to do a targeted campaign for proposed treatment. We always ask the docs, what do you want to do more of? What treatments do you want to, what make you happy? What make you excited to come to work? Or what's also just high value that you can do more. If you do more of those cases, you don't have to work as long or as much, right? Because they're more high value. So those are going to, like dental implants, for instance, it's a common one that comes up. Well, you've proposed all these patients. Let's say there's like 100 patients that have been proposed that have not yet accepted it. Well, what we would do is get a targeted list and we would send it out to those patients. And it wouldn't just be, hey, you have a dental implant that's due, right? It's gonna be, these are the benefits of doing dental implants. This is what a patient said when they did dental implants. This is how your experience is gonna be, what your experience is gonna be like when you have dental implants. Addressing concerns, right? Like, are you insecure about your smile? Do you have missing teeth that you wanna have a confident smile? Do you just wanna eat your foods right again? These are all opportunities with dental implants that we would love to move forward with you in order to get you to that smile. I know payments can be a concern. So we have payment options that I love that Tracy's gonna talk to you about, and then you highlight Tracy. But then the big thing is you have that big button that says book an appointment. And then if you have an online scheduler, you can direct them and have them book that way, or you just simply have them request an appointment and get them booked in. It's amazing the results that you can find. We've found anything, depending on the campaigns we've run, we've seen as much as 20 visits booked to 100 visits booked, but it depends on, again, the goal. And these are patients that haven't been into the practice before. These are patients that do not have a scheduled appointment currently. So we get them back into the practice. And again, based on your goal, if you want to increase treatment with dental implants, then go after those patients that are proposed dental implants and tell them the value of that. And don't just do it one time. Don't say, I did it once and now I'm good. I'm gonna hit them again when I have time, right? You want to hit them multiple times. We do it every quarter. We go after whatever goal that you're going after. So we'll say, we're going to go after unscheduled treatment, and then we're going to go after proposed dental implants, and then we're going to go after collections that are due. And then we'll start over again. We're just hitting on those pain points every quarter to make sure that these are lists of people that are specific to who we're talking to. So we're not over communicating to all the patients all the time. We're personalizing it. So every patient has a great experience and they're being educated in their own way, but you're doing that by having these lists and targeting these patients. Again, it comes down to like doctor hygiene schedule. You can target, hey, our hygiene schedule is low. We need more visits. Well, let's go after people that are overdue. Let's target our ASAP list and let them know we have a last minute opening. Whether you do or don't, at least you're getting traction and giving that extra push to make it easy for people to realize that you have an availability and that it's easy for them to act. You can also target, like I said, collections. Only certain ones do this, but you can always upload your list to target certain people about what they need. So whether it's proposed treatment, whether it's they're overdue for hygiene, overdue for, or if they just have proposed treatment, or collections, you can be talking to those specific audiences and communicating with them and making it easy for them to act. And I would say do that frequently because you've lost them at this point. You've got nothing to lose, right? You're just educating them and telling them different things. So based on that, that is our educate, automate, and target. So we want to educate all patients on the same pain points that everybody has. We want to automate your messages so your team isn't doing everything physically and not seeing results. And you want to target because you want to be able to communicate to specific demographics to hit the goals that you want. And that is our EAT. That is Eat with Abby, right? And we call this our lifetime patient formula because by doing this, by having a program in place and nurturing your current patients, you will see results. You will see patients turn into lifetime patients, loyal patients, because you're nurturing the ones that you currently have and they're not walking out the back door. It takes so much effort for a new patient. So it always breaks my heart to know how many new patients only came once and never came back, or came maybe a few times and then never accepted treatment and then they just fell off and went to another practice. That is opportunity for you guys. And that isn't the patient's fault. That as a practice, you have to instill those types of communications and be in front of the patient in order to make it easy so they don't fall off. And then that'll help you be able to vet out who you want to be with, who the patients are that are ideal to you to make you have a happy practice and make your team happy and make it more of an enjoyable experience for everybody day to day. On that, I just want to give a few tips. So like I said, custom photography is always key. So in any of these emails that you send out, send sure you have pictures of your team, patients, of your office. That really helps drive home the personal touch. And people just love being a part of your practice. They love seeing those photos of your team because they feel like it's family, right? Oh, I know Susie, look at her. I love this photo. It's just more of a personalized experience that way. Another tip, direct call to actions. And what I mean by that are those big old buttons. You have to say exactly what you want them to do. Do you want them to book an appointment? Do you want them to do you want them to fill out their patient forms online? Do you want them to call your office? Do you want them to visit your website? Follow you on social? Whatever that is, make it prominent, make it big, make it the colors of your practice would be ideal, but something big and loud for them to easily act. Because today we're a bunch of skimmers. We just like to get to the point. So make it nice and easy for them to do it. And then when they click, you better make sure that link works and it goes exactly where you said they was gonna go. If you say request an appointment and they click on it and they have to go through this whole page to figure out where to get there, you're gonna lose them. They're gonna think it's broken. They're gonna think that something that they thought they were gonna do didn't happen. You lost them at that point. Make it very easy for them to act. And then make sure to direct them to make sure whatever your goal is of that, you're directing them to make sure to act on that. And then you want to speak to patients. My third tip, speak to patients like they're patients. You guys live and breathe that. We all do. We live and breathe dental every single day. And it gets very easy to just get in the weeds and just explain it like we understand it. You have to simplify everything because remember, the patient doesn't live in this life day to day. And you have to talk to them as if they're human, as if they're patients. Think of all of the engagement that you would get if you would just talk to patients in the way that you want to talk. And you do it in the chair-side manner. You're talking to them, you're simplifying it. Just think of if that person was in the chair right now, how would you communicate it with them? And put it in an email. It's that easy to just simplify the verbiage that way. And think of it as the end result. How does it benefit them? Why would they be concerned about that? How can I bring a solution to them to make them feel at ease about that? Those are great points to put within these emails. And then right there, you're gonna achieve your goals because you're making it easy for the patients to act. They feel like you understand them, which is huge, and they get to see you because it's a personalized touch. So those are some tips I have. Peyton, I agree. I'm getting hungry as well. E.A.T. I hope this helps. You guys, I'm really excited about doing this week to week. Again, every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Central Time. You can come and eat with me during lunch, and I'm gonna bring you some knowledge. I'm gonna fill you up with some knowledge, right? Because we're hungry. I'm gonna fill you up with some knowledge, and we're gonna talk about patient communications. We're gonna talk about online experiences. It can be anything from insurance to membership programs. I'll talk to you with Jordan Comstock in a few weeks. That'll be awesome on April 7th. So I'm excited for if you guys want to join us for that. And yeah, like I said, we'll bring in clients, we'll bring in experts of our own team to let you know what we recommend to set you guys up for success. Because at the end of the day, it's been a rough year with COVID, with the pandemic, but you know, we're a dental community and we want to help each other out. And I want to make sure we can bring you as many resources as we possibly can to set you guys up for success. So that's all we're doing here is we're having lunch and we're dropping some knowledge. So I hope you guys loved it. Please feel free to reach out at any point. You can leave some comments, and if you have ideas or if you want to be part of this, I would love to have you. So just let me know, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday. And if you don't follow us on anything else, please, you can follow us on, if you're on Facebook, you're already following us. Instagram, we have @High5Practice. You can see it right here if you want to, no, I'm reversed right there. If you want to follow us on any social medias to get live updates about everything and what we're doing. Or if you're not currently a client with High5Practice and you want to learn more about how we can help your team manage these patient communications and maximize them so you don't have to worry about it and actually bring results, I would be happy to go over an audit or a demo with you and break it down for you and see if we're a good fit for each other. And you can simply do that by visiting our website at high5practice.com and schedule a time. There's a calendar right there. You just book a time and date that works best for you, and we can pick up some time and talk about it. I look forward to hearing more from all of you, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. So I'll talk to you soon. This is me going ahead and signing off with this week's Eat with Abby. I'll be joining you guys next week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.